In the beginning there was nothing, an empty void, full of empty space. Then the gods created a wonderful world, a world of balance. Across this vast world were towns and cities, but no town or city could compare to the wonderful city known as Fairover. Nobody could remember how or when the gods had made Fairover, but the citizens knew one thing: it was a fine place to live. The weather was ideal for crops and comfort, and their good King Andrium had been chosen for them by the gods. He had established peace many years ago and had become an old and wise man slowly. He was far past his warfaring days and had kept good relations with the neighboring kingdoms through skilled politics and fair trade. Andrium had outlasted in life any other warring king of these kingdoms, and so became a peaceful influence on their successors. The gods had smiled upon him, and so he had shown his subjects the good that could be done by appeasing these deities. Andrium had a close friend, Bremen, a blacksmith. Bremen had two sons, Danaeum and Jacarik. Everyone lived peacefully in Fairover, with bountiful harvests year after year, but paradise can't last forever. When Danaeum was 8 years old, the constant climate of Fairover and its surrounding farmlands began to get cooler. It simply waved off the first year. It became clearer in the second and third years that something was wrong. Andrium was adamant that this was simply a time that would pass. By the 5th year of frost, many had died as a result of the cold. With fewer crops of less nutritional value growing in a shorter season, Fairover seemed doomed. Eventually, riots began, and Bremen was one of the casualties. Andrium adopted his friend's children, swearing to do his best as a father to them. In the 16th year of frost, Danaeum and Jacarik, now much older, decided that the gods must be mad at them to do such a thing to their city, and that they must go on a quest to find out how to fix this crisis. Andrium sent them to an old man who lived a few days' walk from Fairover. This man knew how to understand the actions of the gods themselves, and could most likely suggest a course of action for Jacarik and Danaeum to follow. And that is where my story begins. King Andrium sent his best guard, Demir, with Jacarik and Danaeum. The three of them marched and marched for 3 days to get to the base of the hill on which the seer lived. It would take them at least half a day to climb, and so they did. must be the seer. My father, Andrium, sent me to ask you about the cold in Fairover.
Ah, yes. It's been 16 years. I was almost afraid you weren't coming at all. You seek the Ice Miser.
The who?
The Ice Miser. Long ago, when the gods placed Fairover, the spirits of heat and cold were in dispute. All other kingdoms were more in one's realm than the others. But when Fairover was placed, it was placed right in the middle of our world, along the line between heat and cold. This may have made Fairover the perfect temperature all year round, but this caused problems as both sides wanted to rule over Fairover. They negotiated for many years, but eventually a rebellious young cold spirit, the Ice Miser, attacked a young heat, which caused a war in the Nether Realm. This was still being fought until the Ice Miser, now the hero of the cold cause, defeated the Torrid League, a group of 9 members of the Heat faction who all wielded weapons with pieces of the legendary Cutlass of Conflagration in them. This Cutlass, the best sword ever smithed by the legendary Heat Smiths, gave each member of the League superb fighting strength. The Ice Miser picked off the weakest member of this league, causing the rest to lose their skill in the sword, making them easy pickings for the cold. This let the cold gain ground in the Nether, changing the climate of our world.
That's terrible. Is there anything I can do?
Let me finish. There is still hope for Fairover. If a hero were to claim the Cutlass which now sits in the Temple of Heat, he could fight with the force and skill of all 9 members of the former league combined, shattering the cold resistance and restoring the balance of the Nether realm.
How are we to get to the Temple of Heat?
There is a portal to the temple at the northernmost corner of our world. The southernmost will lead you to the cold.
Thank you, old man. We must make haste to the northern portal. The princes of Fairover sent Demir home. On their epic quest, they must go alone. For 198 days the pair walked, and starting out cold, they finally found hot.
This temple holds the cutlass of conflagration, the weapon of heat. It is the only tool that is powerful enough to demolish the cold. Your responsibility is to claim this weapon from the nether depths of the Temple of Virtue. You will then duel the priest of this temple. If you defeat all members of the Brotherhood, you will be faced with one final challenge. Jacarik had slain his brother, proving that he was the one chosen by the gods to complete this task. He set off to the southernmost point of the world, a long, long journey. Who are you? I'm Jacarik. I'm the true King of Farover, hero of the heat, and champion of the conflagration. I'm son of a murdered father, son of a different murdered father, brother of a murdered brother, murderer of my brother, and I shall have my revenge, in this life or the next.
You will come to take my power, but you shall die.
Jacarik's victory over the Ice Miser restored the balance in the Nether, and was celebrated by all people of all realms. He was made the ruler of the Nether, along with being King of Farover. Jacarik gave the heat and cold each 1/4 of the year to possess Farover, which they must share during the other half. He resides in the Nether most of the time, but returns to Farover annually to melt away the snow of winter, and bring forth new life in the form of spring. That, my children, is how I became king.